Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Andrew from Celluloco.com, and here it is, right? The Sony Ericsson Xperia Play, the gaming phone from, or the PlayStation phone, the PSP Go phone, whatever you guys want to call it. It's called the Xperia Play. It's here. It's been long rumored by the gaming community, the cell phone community. Everyone's been waiting on it, wondering when it was going to come out, and it's finally here for Verizon here in the United States. And we're excited. I'm super excited because I'm a gamer. I've been a gamer all my life, and I love Android. So I like to see the two come together. And so I hope let's see what we can take a look here. So we're gonna jump right into it here. Here's the home buttons here, right up front. There's the back, home, menu, and search. But these three are oddly placed because they're a little bit different from other Android devices, right? So the back buttons here, it's just odd, and it threw me off kind of, especially at night when using it. The icons don't light up, and if you're not familiar with the keys here, and if you're used to some other Android devices, you're gonna feel a little off. But I mean, like anything else, you get used to it. But I just wish they kind of eluded some a little light, or they kind of glowed or something. Also, it's a little close to the screen here, so when you're hitting, you might hit the launcher or anything on the bottom that might be responsive to touch. But you know, the screen's huge. It takes full advantage of the front, so they kind of ran out of space there. But nothing too bad, but manageable. On the bottom here, there's the little spot to put your nail in to kind of pop out the battery. I'll show that to you in a second. We'll come back to that. Micro USB charging spot on the left-hand side. On top, there's the dedicated power button, which has a little indicator light, flashes crazy cool lights when it's charging. And up on the right hand side is the shoulder buttons, right? So this is what, for one of the experiences here on the Xperia Play for gaming. It has a nice clicky feel, if you guys can hear it, right? I think they're really nice. They're spaced out really good for gaming. I think it's actually works really well. They kind of go down a little bit here, you could say. And then the volume rocker, which is oddly placed on top when you have the control pad slid out. I'll show you that after when I open it. But I thought that was odd because if you're trying to change the volume and the screen's up, you have to kind of like reach behind. Let me show you that in a second. And then there's on. Oh, I'm sorry. Back to by the micro here. There's a headphone jack down below. So that covers about everything on the exterior. On the front, we have a 4-inch display with a 854 by 480 FWGA resolution, FWVGA resolution. I'm sorry, and it has inside there's a 1 gigahertz Snapdragon processor accompanied by an Adreno 205 GPU. So I mean, granted, it's not the fastest processor. Especially now, we're starting to see a lot of dual cores coming out this spring and the summer. I thought that was kind of an odd choice. That makes me wonder if Sony Ericsson wanted this phone actually out a lot earlier, right? Especially for a gaming phone, right? That's going to be heavy on graphics and sound and processing and rendering. You know, they would want a better processor in there. But it's really held up quite well in the games I've played so far. But so let's hop in right into the home screen here. So this is a pure Android vanilla experience, right? This is gingerbread. A lot of you I know are probably super excited. You're tired of these manufacturers putting their skins or their UIs on here. So it's really nice that Ericsson did that, and bravo Ericsson, right? So if you guys don't believe me, I'm gonna hop into here, show you. There it is, Android version 2.3.2, right? So that's gingerbread. Really nice to see that on there. Popping in out of menus works well. I mean, I feel like at 1 gigahertz already, these processors, especially with gingerbread on board, everything runs smooth, you know, no problem at all popping in and out of these. Let's hop into the app drawer here, right? So Verizon's known for putting all their bloatware on here, and I have to say they did a good job, right? There's no city ID, surprisingly, right? No city ID, which is annoying. There's the VCast apps and backup assistant. Backup assistant's nice for people who don't sync their contacts to Gmail, which I don't know why you wouldn't do that at this point if you have an Android phone, but it's there nonetheless. VZ Navigator, which most people use Google Maps anyway, right? So that, like I said, it moves in and out nice. It kind of has this nice feel to it, bouncing back and forth between screens. So no complaint there. But let's talk about the screen a little bit, right? So the viewing angles, I think, are really good. I'm indoors right now, as you can tell. I think they're pretty good, right? But when you take this guy outside, terrible. Absolutely terrible. The colors get all washed. And I don't know if it has something to do with, I mean, even indoor right now, the screen doesn't have like this sharpness, this crispness. It doesn't have that pop that some other phones have. And it's a bit disappointing because a lot of these games that are coming out that are optimized for Xperia Play are, higher resolution and higher textures and such like that. So you would want a nice screen to take advantage of that. And I feel like Ericsson was a little bit lazy on their display choice in here. That's a little frustrating, but I mean, it works. In low-level lighting, it looks much sharper. But outdoors, the colors are very washed. So far, I'm pretty disappointed with them. But all right, so here it is, right? I wanted to save the gaming for last, right? This is what you guys have been waiting for. So when you slide the keyboard open, the control pad, right? Boom, it pops open the Xperia Play experience. And I think that their vision behind that was like, you want to do your gaming, you slide out the keyboard, pop. That brings up the gaming experience, which is a nice choice. But it's odd because, you slide out one of these phones, you're like seeing a keyboard or something, but, here's a control pad. So I think I'm getting used to the idea of that, but it feels really nice. Now, if you're familiar with the PSP Go, which is the smaller version of the PSP, they're one in one, right? The design is inspired by the PSP Go. The only thing with the PSP Go, I think there's a start and select here. There's a little nub here and a start and select here. Otherwise, the buttons are the same. The shoulders are the same. The shoulder buttons are the same. The screen, it's pretty much the same, right? So it has that nice clicky feel. I don't know if you can hear it. Really solid. I'm really impressed with the controls. Your familiar PlayStation branded icons, the triangle, square, circle, and X. And the nubs, the analog pads here, right? So they work really well. And like the hockey game I was playing, moving the athlete around worked really well. In the middle here, there's these little kind of nubs or little elevated, kind of feels like Braille. I think that's there to just help guide you, so you don't have to look down when you're playing to like find where you are on the pad here, because it's very flush. You can feel it. That's just kind of help you keep you centered. Works really well. I don't know why you can't navigate using these here. I guess they're only optimized when you're using a game that takes advantage of them. A start and select button for games that take advantage of that, and then right there is the familiar Android menu button, which is also right up here, right? So games take advantage of that. And then, interesting enough, as much as this is, the rumored PlayStation phone or PSP phone, whatever you want to call it, it really isn't. It's just bringing the PlayStation branded games to it. This is still very much a Sony Ericsson product. Sony Ericsson and Sony PlayStation are under Sony, but they're two very different divisions of Sony, right? So the only PlayStation really stuff on here is the buttons here and that little logo right there. It'll be very interesting to see what PlayStation announces at E3 in terms of their what they're bringing to Android with gaming with PlayStation Suite. That's going to be licensed PlayStation games for Android devices. I think that's a really great idea on Sony's behalf, really expanding, especially since portable gaming is becoming so big. They're going to be kind of leading that movement. I think that's a great move on PlayStation's behalf, and I think it's a good partnership with Ericsson to bring that experience to their phones. So enough of me blabbing. You guys want to see the games. So included in the Xperia Play is Asphalt 6, Bruce Lee, Crash Bandicoot, which is a PlayStation 1 game, right? So that's one of those PlayStation branded games. Madden 11, Star Battalion, and Sims 3. Hockey Nations I downloaded, Cordy I downloaded, that was recently updated to support Xperia Play, Controls, and Age of Zombies by Half Brick, which I also downloaded. So we can hit more games here, and this brings up games you can download that are Xperia Play optimized, right? So you can play any game on here, but games that are optimized for the controls and take advantage of the setup will be here in the Xperia Play screen under more games. So now you can get them from two places. You can get them from Android Market and buy them right from the developer there, or you can get them from the VCast store. Here, we'll pick Gun Bros. This game's available at Android Market. If we click on that, it brings us right into the VCast App Store, which is fine, but it doesn't give you the option to, when I hit download, it doesn't give you the option to download it from the Android Market. It's linked to your Verizon account, which would have been nice if it gave you, if you click that and you can choose to buy it from the VCast, or if it links you to the Android Market. I really wish it linked also to the Android Market, because it's a nice display here to show which games are optimized for the Xperia Play experience, right? But it's a bit harder to find them in the Android Market. So it's nice to see them here, but I wish they were listed in the Android Market. I think if Sony and Google and PlayStation, they want to take this experience seriously, they'll put a separate section in the Android Market for gaming. I think that's a partnership they need to work on, right? To really to get this system, this phone selling and get people interested in making that experience easier. Because, right, this is all about the gaming. Alright, so enough of me blabbing. I know you guys want to see the game. So I'm going to go to Crash Bandicoot here, which is a PlayStation 1 branded experience. So let's jump right into it, right? No, I don't have a history. There it is, the PS1 logo, right? That's from the mid-90s. Everyone's known that logo. It's been played everywhere, right? Let's turn up the volume here. Crash Bandicoot is a game developed by Naughty Dog. They work on Uncharted. It's another great PlayStation branded game. Trying to skip through this. It feels really nice. It fits really perfect in hand. There you go, Naughty Dog logo. Press start. Start this game up. Insanity Beach. There's Crash. Right, the box is super smooth. Now, if you notice, it's only doing a 4:3 resolution. It doesn't fit the full screen. We can go into the settings here. So remember that menu button I showed you here? You can hit that, and it brings up an overlay for the emulator. And so there's two things I wanted to show you here. We can go with the manual, which is cool. It actually brings up the old PS1 manual. It actually shows the cover art, which is pretty cool. I guess it's just a PDF inside there. But I think that's really cool, especially for fans of the old PS1 who have a PS1, who grew up with PS1. Let's back out of there. Continue brushing, yes. Bring up that menu again. We can change the screen mode, right? So you don't want to play it in the original 4:3 ratio. We can do full screen, right? And now it stretches it. It's a little stretched. It still looks good, though. Everything runs smooth. Let me just run through here. Get these baddies. Jump over, and there we go. And now what's cool is that if it's a PlayStation game, an actual PlayStation branded game, I can hit the home button here, jump out, say I gotta answer an email. Boom. Jumps me back to the screen, right? So up in the left-hand corner, there's the PlayStation controller logo. I pull down the notification bar, and it's an ongoing app, right? Crash Bandicoot, Sony Computer Entertainment America. Tap that. Yes, and I want to continue. And I'm back in the game, right? That's super awesome, super smooth, no delay. I was really impressed like that. That's good for those long games that you want to play like an RPG, take a break, come back, do some work, do some email, you can hop right back into the experience without having to save it and load it again. Really smooth. And if I just want to cancel it or quit, boom, and I'm back. So there it is, folks. That's the Sony Ericsson Xperia Play. Look for our full review in the next coming days.